Good morning. My name is Shariah Shai. Today is August 9th, 2019. If you see me looking down, because I'm reading what I have written for this video, this is a serial harassment and identity theft, continuous violation and retaliation video, part 1. Excuse my voice. I'm not feeling well today. And I wanted to discuss some issues that is ongoing. I'm afraid at this point I may get hurt seriously. The threats are real, and I can't go any place without people camping out around me, following me in the grocery stores, following me on the bus. They're not the same people. They know where I'm going, or they have an estimate where I may go, and they will show up there. I'm watching people and their pattern around me as well, okay? And I had moved from the state of Illinois north. I'm not going to give you the state I'm in. I moved approximately 750 miles, 725 miles north from Illinois. And the reason for this move was because I was constantly being harassed by retailer employees and tenants. Inconspicuous, their concealment and intentional and malice aforethoughts to force me into a sexual obfuscation trade or a sex trafficking trade and the same-sex orientation, pigeonage, because I don't conform to what he or she or their special interest group think I should look or behave for no apparent reason. This has been going on for over a decade. I lost my home. All these things were done behind my back. It's not that I did anything wrong. Like I said in my previous video, I'm not a social butterfly. I worked every day until this eruption all of a sudden in my career. I didn't know what happened back then, but through my investigation, I found out the terrible truth, what they done to me for no apparent reason. It's about my background, my citizenship, and my academics. Those were the three main parameters that they were working against me for. And from what I understand, they couldn't go to court. They don't want to go to court. So they have their, I guess they will call them, they said they were state actors, but I wouldn't call them that. I will call them, it's like covert operation, knowing that I was suffering from a serial violation in my civil rights and human rights. It's a serial issue with this problem. And they didn't want to go to court knowing that I was on my proper credentials. They knew that they were lying. All I know about this situation is that people, when I talked through this video, if people came to me, I did not know who they were. They would tell me certain things that was going on in my credentials, but I did not know them personally. I only seen them once and never seen them again. And it's still happening here where I am. I thought if I move, it would get better. It didn't. It got worse. It didn't matter who they are. It's about their personal ideology, their perception, and what they think that caused this. I'm being basically discriminated against my identification, my U.S. citizenship. And the person that they know that they're trying to cover up these covert operations against me for no apparent reason. I did nothing wrong. Was to conceal that they were on my credentials, and they never matched the background or the photograph. The pigmentation, none of the above, never matched. And they let them thrive off of my credentials while I suffer economic hardship. They claim I wasn't. I became impoverished by this problem. They stole my property. They stole money from my bank account and never paid the bill. I got proof of this. They stole over $16,000 over a course of 4 years and never paid the bill once. They claimed they were paying. I found court records on things that should have been resolved in the courts about debts that I knew nothing about. They even created new debts. An example of this kind of example, when they when they foreclosed on me, on my house in December 2007, it was supposed to pay for Chicago water that I had supposed to owe the back bill on. Usually it's a certain limit. Well, it was under $2,000 from what I understand. They would force people into foreclosure. Mine was way under $2,000. They forced me into foreclosure. I was being threatened they were going to steal my home from me. I didn't believe it at the time. And they did. They forced me into foreclosure. I never got the foreclosure letter because I wasn't even in the state. In December, I think it was December 2007, they foreclosed on me to pay the water bill. In 2007, I got a water bill. And it was a court record. These are the kind of things I have suffered. I had to contact certain agencies about this problem and show the records. And then the state wiped out all these debts they had on me. A month ago, I went in there, I check it quite often. They regurgitated these bills on me. I feel I'm creating bills that never occur. They foreclosed to pay the bill, and then they send me a bill in 2012. And I said, well, you foreclosed on me to pay the bill, and I had equity in the home. Well, this is an interesting issue with this equity issue. I had equity in the home when they foreclosed. They sold it with earnest money I never received, even after they paid the water bill. From between 2011 and 2015, I think. 2015. 2011 to 2015, they were collecting money off of me monthly and never paid the bill. The accounts show it was never applied. And I believe this is one of the methods that they were using in the court. Someone's filing fake court records on me in order to keep me hostage behind my credentials. They were controlling me under my credentials. The only reason I had to come up with is that he, she, or these special interests knowingly and willfully solicit my identification, my driver's license or state identification card or identity instrument as a public domain or open source template. I notice when I go in to update something or change something, they always have to manually key. Someone had involuntary servitude me, volunteer my information behind my back, without my authorization. To control this information, they have to control my finances with these court records that never occur. In I believe around 2015, I was at the grocery store and a woman, didn't know who she was, came up to me and she said, "You're married." She said, "And the person on that photograph does not look nothing like you." These are the kind of problems I'm having. I never married. And the reason why I never married, I found out, was people were telling me I lived above at Courtyard Village in Naperville. The people that lived above me, I lived on the first floor. They were lesbian couple, I guess. And they told me they've been following me for decades behind my back and stopping all of my heterosexual relationship. And that's the only thing I can come up with. They were involved. I don't know any same-sex orientation people. I never hung out with them kind of people. But they claimed that they were doing this behind my back. I know I was in relationships that it always ended bad. Or I was always getting beaten. But I didn't know it was about my credentials. And I never married. Even today, I have never been married in a courthouse or in a church. And I feel that somebody's going to physically assault me or I might be killed because of my U.S. citizenship, and they know they compromised it. Without proof or evidence, I never gave it to them. Another method they were using on me was I'm supposed to have dementia. And they were telling the people that was behind this issue, and I say he, she, or they because I don't know who they are. They call it ghost crime because you don't know who these people who victimized you. Who victimized me, they call it a ghost crime. And from what I understand from this method, I'm suffering from dementia. This is another method. And I gave them that ID, that driver's license or state ID. I couldn't have. I know I'm not suffering from dementia. And they were getting around this legal issue, this legal hurdle, when I haven't. Especially from the state of Illinois, because if they print it out, I have the original. I always have the original, unless I move within that time frame of the valid ID before it expired, they get a duplicate. Only thing they could do was duplicate, unless they duplicated it. And I never authorized it. So someone was giving out some IDs that I never authorized. Even here in the state, I never authorized it. And they were doing it. The problem was with this legal issue that they were doing it without evidence. They were doing it without me present, and they were giving it to them without evidence. And it was because I had a high school diploma and they did not want me to work in an office. They can get a job. They were picking and choosing who would be successful and who should not be successful under my background. They didn't want me as the original to be successful, so they pick and choose. They were playing God with my credentials. I had people come to me, even in Illinois, crying and telling me they think they own you. I mean, I get it from every walk of life. All race is involved. all religion. It seems like it's a problem with all religion with this issue now. I never gave anyone any of my credentials unless it was stolen. I know when I stayed with my sister Clara, one time I visited her, and I left my purse in my stepfather's room, and my social security number, my social security card, my original social security card came up missing under my old information. And then when I visited my sister Dana, I stayed a couple of days with her, my social security card came up missing. But I never gave no one my identity. And that's what she told her. She said, that's what this is about. I changed my name, and there was some problems behind my name, of things they were doing behind it. And the only way to stop it was to change it. I never gave my family my identification. I never gave them my social security card, but it was stolen. And now I don't want to have anything to do with any of my family members. I know that the government agency said once I had changed it, my name, they no longer have legal rights to it. I didn't even know they had authorization. My siblings could get access to your credentials. But they said since I changed everything, they will no longer have access to it. They should no longer have access to my new information. My new name is rare, first and last name, and no one should have it. I Googled it and did research on it many years ago. And I'm being targeted and my immediate family to conceal this identification discrimination. In other words, a person who is or are impersonating me has legal rights using forged or fraudulent identification instruments without other proof or evidence on the basis of my background should be another race. What they think it should be another race because I'm this color. They don't like my hairdo. They're always about my hairdo. Or some type of special interest group discrimination. Who they pick and choose. But me being the original, they don't want me to be the original to have that opportunity, but they can give a criminal the opportunity. Involuntary servitude without my information. They want to volunteer my information and behind my back. They were forcing me into this behind my back, which is another form of voluntary servitude under the 13th Amendment, without consequences. They wanted to do it. He, she, and the special interest group wanted to do it without consequences, without legal ramifications. They want to help people on my credentials without legal ramifications. And this gets into another issue of this false dilemma fallacy. False dilemma fallacy means they have other options. I have no connections to he, she, or they, or their special interest group. But they don't want me. For some reason, I intimidate these people, or something's going on. They're what they think I should be in order to keep them on my paperwork. I lost everything behind this method. It started the fourth quarter of 2004, when I lived in my house. Fourth quarter 2004. There was something put in my house, surveillance and audio video. I experienced it in my house, and I'm experiencing it where I moved from in Illinois, and now I'm experiencing it in this apartment. When I leave out of here, they know when I leave. I did something recently to prove this point. You know, I'm not suffering, or I'm not crazy as you think I am. But I did I did something to test this. Am I crazy or am I not crazy? So I tested it. I did something recently, and the maintenance people came in and they had repaired it, but it was already something wrong with it. But I did something and they mentioned it. I didn't break it. It was already a motor problem with it. But what they mentioned, and then I knew I was being watched in this apartment. It's confirmed now. It was never in any of my leases to be audioed and camera surveilled. Usually if they do it, it has to be in certain locations and so forth. And they always want to use me as sexual observation, like this. I have no rights under the Fourth Amendment of search and siege. There's legal ramification of privacy rights. There's some expectations of Fourth Amendment privacy rights. I don't have it here. I never had it. And it's because of what they've done to my human rights and civil liberty and civil rights. They knew they had violated it. They knew I had been encroached upon. They knew they hurt me. They knew they'd try to kill me over this problem. And they try to conceal it by putting a camera in my home to control what surrounds me without my authorizations. I have all my leases. I can post these things publicly and you will see not a one surveillance on but they know everything I do in this apartment. When I leave out to the garbage, dump the trash, a few weeks ago, they went into my briefcase that's always locked. They stole something. When I came back, it was totally open. I always keep it locked. Even when I'm in the house, it's locked. They opened it and stole something out of it. I know what they stole. I'm gonna show you the video of my briefcase that they went into, that they call a buggy. They claim I'm walking around town in a buggy. Everywhere I go, it's this buggy violation, and it's not even a buggy. It don't even look like a buggy. I'm being targeted and harassed because they can't get to it, so they can steal my buggy. They stole half my taxes when I went to the laundry room in the state of Illinois where I used to live, in Hinsdale, Lake Terrence. And I just went down there for 5 minutes. I was gone for 10 minutes, and my locked briefcase was totally open. That's all these people want to do is steal from me. I'm just prey upon, P-R-E-Y, preyed upon, like vultures. And I never authorized it. I never gave any one person authorization to use my paperwork, nor did I give them that identity, unless somebody printed it out from the DMV. I didn't give it to them. But they can't. The problem with this case, my case is, no one wants to go to court, and that's my problem. I'm being violated. This could have easily been resolved years ago if they took this to court, and nobody wants to go to court because they know I'm on my right credentials. And I can prove it. I have a rare blood type. I have fingerprints and all this other stuff they done trying to steal my information. A forensic biometric But no one wants to go to court. They can't prove, they said they can't prove who these people are on my credentials. So I live in constant fear. I have to carry everything that is important to me, else I would not have it in this apartment. Because all they want to do is steal from me. But no one wants to take it to a legal court because they can't prove it. And then they have them target me because they can't prove it. And I will show you some other things about this issue as well. I never authorized it. I never authorized anyone. I never got any documentation from any court in the United States, anywhere, saying that my information was compromised and I should show up in court. I never been married in any state. And that's the only way they could have got to it. I know I had problems with one of my government accounts recently. And I'm sitting up here, how could they change the password when you got this two-step verification? They changed it. They literally changed it twice on me. And I know I have a number of identity instruments to be sent out through the lifetime. And I wonder, have they compromised it through there? Because I never authorized it. And someone moved away from here in this location where I moved, approximately 725, 750 miles away north from Illinois, had indicated that I found out they did break in, they did go into that account. They did go into that account illegally without the two-step verification. So they had to have somebody connected to this to go into that account. I've been getting fraudulent mail. The next one I get, we will be in a federal court fighting over this issue. It's something about my information. They wanted to release my information for a whole year and to get access to it. We're not going to play this game any longer. There's all kinds of methods behind this. And then they claim it wasn't fake. They kept claiming it's not fake. We're going to see about this. The next one they send, we're going to go in federal court to confirm that you are going to use this for whatever purpose. And then nobody's going to get a job under my credentials. They won't give me the job, but they will give them the job. Isn't that interesting? And it's my credentials. They want to volunteer my information without compromise. Remember that. Behind my back, without going to court. They think they own me. That's what some of the people, I call them angels, tell me what's going on around me. They constantly say they think they own you. And I don't even know who they are. I'm not a social butterfly. All I know, they want to put me in a sex trafficking trade. They want to whore me. They want to abuse me. They can't hurt me. And now they put it into a soft phrase. They want to make me enjoy myself. I don't want to enjoy myself. They want me to enjoy myself. They want to basically morally corrupt me, and I don't fall for it. And they're angry, so they could take advantage of my information. But no one wants to take it to court. You have no idea what these people have done to me. It's in the court records what they done. Those fraudulent debts, so they can put the surveillance on me. It's something to do with these debt issues. Here, they talking about I'm a person of color and African American descent, I guess. And therefore, I'm not entitled to have my benefits that I'm getting, even though I'm less than 1% here. And I want to tell the psychologist or psychiatrist that came to me in around the summer, near the end of the summer of 2014. He was warning me about this. I want to tell him, thank you, and you were right. But it's bigger than that. It's everywhere I go. What they did was everywhere I go. They caused this discrimination. I'm having problem in every race group now with this method. Everybody got a need in every race group. And they want to take my information. Now they want to steal my benefits or take me off of it. They want me to get a job. But they got people here of other race. I'm only 1%, and they want to take it from me. They want me to work with cancer. They don't think I have it. Oh my God. That's what they think. This is all about it's all about what these people think. Nothing about my well-being. They don't care what they do. It's all about these other people in this country without paperwork. I'm having problems with Africans. I moved here. There's a high percentage of Africans here. I was unaware of that. I did my research, like the psychiatrist or psychologist had told me, and it was less than 3% of my race here. So I felt that it would be a little safer. I'm coming here as other race. They're mostly Sudan, and they're prejudiced. They don't like me for whatever reason. They're or South Africans, Uganda or someplace. And they have other race here, and they're Muslim. And I don't want to convert to Islam. And there's something about Hezbollah having an issue with me, which started back in my home state. And they don't like me, and they don't like me, therefore they have the right to abuse my information. This is all I'm going to say for today. This is August 9th, 2019. Have a blessed day.